to Gospel Music USA, your home on the television for the very best in Southern gospel music. My name is Danny Jones. I'm with Singing News Magazine.
I'm Mike Lefevre with the Lefevre Quartet. We're honored that you're here today. Let me tell you, you may have noticed our friend Karen Peck Gooch is not here today. She is out, but she will be back in the near future. She hasn't betrayed us and left us. But we're still...
It's just a very busy time for Karen right now. And to help make up for her absence, we have part number 2 of a special series here on Gospel Music USA, where we are talking about the National Quartet Convention. By far one of the biggest events in Southern gospel music today. But before we talk to Clarke Beasley, we want to have a little music, and that music is coming from the Wisnets. We hope you enjoy.
This could be the day. He's waiting on something. He'll hear his father say, "Go get my children. It's time to bring them home. King Jesus is coming, and it won't be long." This world is a place of trouble and trial. In the last days, we're told in the Bible, there's a promise of God always we stand. When we least expect it, saints in the grave will be resurrected. We will rise and never be the same again. King Jesus is coming. This could be the day. He's waiting on something. He'll hear his father say, "Go get my children. It's time to bring them home." King Jesus is coming, and it won't be long. The Lord don't fail or falter. He's ready to save and set you free. Signs of the time everywhere surround us. Sin and affliction are all around us. Living in ways where you can live eternally. King Jesus is coming. This could be the day. He's waiting on something. He'll hear his father say, "Children, it's time to bring them home. King Jesus is coming, and it won't be long." King Jesus is coming. This could be the day. He's waiting on something. He'll hear his father say, "Go get my children. It's time to bring them home." King Jesus is coming, and it won't be long. It's time to bring them home. King Jesus is coming, and it won't be
The Wisnets on Gospel Music USA. Mike, that family has been here many times before. Always fan favorites here.
Precious people.
Yes, they are. And, of course, they make regular appearances at the National Quartet Convention. Our guest today, Executive Vice President of the National Quartet Convention, Clarke Beasley. Clarke, glad that you're back with us again.
Well, glad to be back. And I still say trading me for Karen's a bad trade. Well, I'm delighted to be here.
Well, we did the best we could. Short notice. Hey, you know, we've talked about the National Quartet Convention on last week's program, an event that's been around for more than 6 decades. And most people are very familiar with the nighttime concerts, but each day there are plenty of activities, including some things that you simply just can't work in at night because of time constraints or perhaps an artist's schedule. And that's what we want to talk about right now, all those daytime activities at the National Quartet Convention.
Yeah, you know, we've got programming going from 9:30 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. And yet one of the hallmark events during the week are our daytime showcases. Of course, the hub of the event's the evening concerts, as you were mentioning. But the daytime events give us time to do things we couldn't do in the evening. And a couple of very special presentations we're going to have next year is the 30th anniversary of Greater Vision. We're going to be celebrating that. And then there's another anniversary milestone that we're going to be celebrating, which our friend here is going to be participating in. That's Gold City's 40th anniversary. Wow. So those are two very special programs that will be part of the daytime events next year.
And not only that, Clarke, another event that happens is the Singing News Fan Awards. That's one of the afternoon.
Oh yeah, that's gospel music's most anticipated day. Yeah, and we're going to be doing that during the afternoon, Friday afternoon, as a matter of fact.
And you know, that's always a fun time. But the whole point of mentioning the daytime showcases is the fact that when you come to the National Quartet Convention, listen, you can get your fill of gospel music from the word go till the word stop. And it doesn't matter if you like quartets, family groups, trios, duets. They're all there at the National Quartet Convention. Now, we'll go ahead and drop in a reminder right now. Clarke, how's the best way to keep up to date with everything going on in QC?
Yeah, sure. All the information you can find at nqconline.com. All of the admission is there. If you need to make hotel arrangements, you can do it there. Find out all the schedule for the daytime and the evening. It's all right there at nqconline.com.
All right. Now, Mike, I know because you think more slowly than other people, I want to give you plenty of time to think about this. In a few moments, I'm going to ask you about your all-time favorite NQC memory, so get that ready. In the meantime, coming to sing for us right now is one of those groups that a little bit different from the traditional Southern gospel that you would find on most events, but listen, these folks are always favored at the National Quartet Convention. Ladies and gentlemen, here are the Isaacs.
He left the splendor of heaven, knowing his destiny was the lonely hill of Golgotha, there to lay down his life for me. If that isn't love, the ocean is dry. There are no stars in the sky, and the sparrow can't fly. Isn't love in heaven's underneath, and there's no feeling like this. If that isn't he spoke with love and compassion, and he took him to paradise.
Hey, welcome back to Gospel Music USA. We are continuing our look at the National Quartet Convention. Our guest today, Clarke Beasley. But as promised, Mike Lefevre is about to share his most memorable moment of all the years he's been to the NQC. Go ahead, Mike.
Did you have sufficient time to access that
Well,
file?
there's actually a lot of memories I have. Some are great, some are not so great. And so I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'll just pull out one of the not so great moments for me. It's been about 2 years ago. Anybody that's been to the Quartet Convention noticed the stage used to be in the round. And so all the groups that were coming off stage or going on would congregate down there at the steps. I'm standing there at the steps. I have my microphone. We're getting ready to be introduced. I'm talking to Michael Booth. And I kind of got distracted, and all of a sudden I hear him say, the Lefevre Quartet. Well, I started up the stairs feeling like I was behind the beat on everything, and I got almost to the top and fell and went down and hit on my elbows and laid out. And listen, there is 11,000 people in that room.
Well, you always wanted to sing on one of the nights that was sold out.
Yes,
so.
It was great when I got it, but my shins, when I stood back up, and you're sitting there thinking, I know everybody just saw this, and it's videoed, it's everything. And I stood up, and my shins and my elbows and my sleeves were all the way up to here where I'd landed. And, that wasn't the most pleasant memory of all, but it was quite a memory because I went out there, our first song was, Not My Will, Thine Be Done. And I was in pain, and I smiled, and I sang way through it.
I should have dug through the archives and pulled video of that.
If you could find it, it's probably. I actually tried to find it. I was hoping it was videoed because.
And the truth is, this is actually what happened. I saw it. It's exactly as he said. I personally enjoyed it, but it's exactly as what he said.
But there's been a lot of happy times too.
Right.
But that was a memorable.
And the thing about it, there were people there from practically all 50 states and several other foreign countries there that night.
People come from Brazil, Germany. I mean, everywhere.
Ireland.
Right. It truly is. It truly has become an international event.
Oh, very much so. Yeah, over 40 states, at least a half dozen foreign countries on any given year.
It's amazing. And leave it to me to fall in front of all of them. But anyway.
But we didn't charge extra for that.
No,
that was extra entertainment.
That should have been a showcase.
Well, anyway, the 2021 National Quartet Convention is coming up in September. What are those dates, Clarke?
September 26th through October 2nd.
Right. So go ahead, make your plans now. Put those dates on your calendar because when you get there, there is a very good chance you're going to hear the Lefevre Quartet sing this song right here. As a matter of fact, it has become a #1 song for the Lefevre Quartet. So, Mike, here's your chance to introduce your song.
One of my favorite songs, Between the Prayer and the Answer.
Friend, do you wonder what the Lord does while you're praying hard and still waiting? Has He forgotten what's going on? Does He know your poor heart is breaking? Oh, I've learned the truth, and my life's the proof. Yes, I know what God did for me. I've been in your place, now through eyes of faith I can see.
God's building bridges and tearing down walls, lifting His children whenever one falls. He's turning rivers of tears back into laughter. He's mending fences, He's changing minds.
Yes, I've seen Him do it
Time after time, He's speaking peace to a storm because He's the Master. Yes, that's what God does between the prayer and the answer.
So don't be discouraged. God's on your side, though He may not come in a hurry. Friend, He's on His way, and He'll get there in time and prove there's no reason to worry. For there's never been one dark moment when you haven't been there on after time. He's speaking peace to a storm because he's the master. Oh, that's what God does between the prayer and the answer. If you could see how he's working today, you'd lift your head up and say, God's building bridges and tearing down walls, lifting his children whenever one falls. He's turning rivers of tears back into laughter. He's mending fences, he's changing lives. I've seen him do it time after time. He's speaking peace to a storm because he's the master. Oh, that's what God does between the prayer and the answer. Yes, that's what God does between the prayer and the answer.
Thanks for tuning in to Gospel Music USA. Today our guest has been Clarke Beasley, the Executive Vice President of the National Quartet Convention. And Mike, before we go, was there anything you'd like to ask Clarke?
I would like to ask Clarke how these folks can find out about the National Quartet Convention if they've never been, or even if they've been and want to know what's going to happen in 2021.
That is a question I can answer. Just go to nqconline.com. That is the best source for all the information. You can find out the schedules of what's going on during the day and during the evening. If you need to make hotel reservations, you can do it right there. Need to take care of your admission, you can do it right there. Everything you need to know is at nqconline.com.
And one thing I did want to bring up that we kind of touched on a few minutes ago, some of the events during the day, but some people may think it's just a lot of singing. But a lot of the mornings, several of the mornings, there's a chapel service actually.
We sure do. You know, that's a tradition that started back in the early 80s in Nashville when we used to do it at the Crown Plaza and the Hyatt Hotel. I know you remember those days,
yeah.
Danny. You remember those days too. So yeah, we have continued that, and we do that at the LeConte Center. We starting on Tuesday, we begin each day with a chapel service, and it features a preacher or a speaker and then a performance by one of the major artists, and that's free and open to the public.
Great.
Speaking of performances by major artists, here is one major artist that you will see at the National Quartet Convention. Here is Legacy 5.
Shape my faith like nothing else could do. A baby's cry, a warm sunrise, a sinner's prayer. Oh, I can't deny that there's a God who cares for me and you. It's the hope that dwells within you when you thought all hope was gone. Says, come follow me. That's what makes believers believe. That's what makes believers believe. Can you recall that moment when above? It came in just the nick of time and cradled you with love. The peace it brought, the faith it taught, and held you stand when you could not. It was more than you could dream of. It's the hope that wells within you when you thought all hope was gone. It's the strength that's unexpected, but it helps you carry on. It's the whisper deep inside your heart that says, come follow me. That's what makes believers believe. That's what makes believers believe. I could never count the reasons, but I know that God in all His glory has spoken to my soul, to my soul, to my soul. It's the hope that wells within you when you thought all hope was gone. It's the strength that's unexpected, but it helps you carry on. It's the whisper deep inside your heart that says, come follow me. That's what makes believers believe. Oh, that's what makes believers believe.
On behalf of my friend Mike Lefevre, we want to say thank you for tuning in to Gospel Music USA today. It's been a special day, part 2 of a 4-part series as we talk about the National Quartet Convention, one of gospel music's grandest events. Now join us again next week. We will have part 3. 3 comes after 2, Mike. Got it?
I got it.
Got it,
And
right.
I wanna thank you for that.
You're welcome. Hey, special thanks to our guest today, Clarke Beasley, the Executive Vice President of the National Quartet Convention. He'll be back next week as all. In the meantime, don't forget to tell everyone about the great Southern gospel music that is on Gospel Music USA. Make sure you tune in. You'll find Mike, me, Karen, and whoever else may show up that day right here on Gospel Music USA.